Hey, what's up, guys? I'm Ethan. Just a couple things I want to let you guys know before we get started. One, I'm going to assume you have like a little bit of programming already. I'm going to take this thing slow, and we'll just see how it goes from there. Another thing, never go by just what people tell you in videos. Go out and experience things on your own, learn some things on your own, and you'll be a lot better off. There's definitely more than one way to do anything, almost. So, yeah, with that said, let's get started. Okay, I'm going to assume you already have Visual Basic 6 pulled up. And if you don't, just go ahead and do that now. And when you pull it up, you'll see Form 1, which is right here. Form 1 in this case is essentially your project. Yes, you can have more than one form, but for this simple project, Form 1 is our project. Now here's one point I really want to stress. Form 1 has a name and a caption. Form 1, in this case, its name is by default Form 1. And an object's name is what you're going to be referring to it as in code. So when you code about it, you're going to call it whatever its name is. Its caption, by default, is also Form 1. But that's this right here. That's what you want it to say up there. So let's go ahead and change that. Just erase Form 1 and type Hello World. See, that's our caption. Our caption is now Hello World. It has nothing to do with anything when we code. So, with that said, let's look at some other things over here to the right. You can change an object's border style, and a border style has to do with these things up here, the red X, the maximize button, and the minimize button. By default, it changes it to two sizable, which means you can X out of the program, you can maximize it, or minimize it. Let's go ahead and change that to fixed single, just so it looks a little better. We just have a red X right there. So you can't maximize the program, you can't minimize it, you can just exit out of it. Just some examples of some different things you can do over here. You can change the font of things, you can change the color, you can make things invisible, do things with the mouse, anything. It's just all kind of things you're going to have to mess around with on your own. So let's look over here to the left, and you're going to see all these buttons over here. And if you hover over them with your mouse, you're going to see the little balloon pop up, and it says label, text box, picture box, whatever. All sorts of different things you can do. The one I want you to click on is the white box with AB inside it. That's a text box, and go ahead and put it on your little form. And you should see a white box come up with text 1 inside it. Now text 1 also has a name, and by default it's text 1, and just for simplicity's sake, let's just leave it as what it gives us, which is text 1. Now it also has a text right there, and by the way, these things on to the left, these text, name, whatever, they're all in alphabetical order. But yeah, so text says text 1, so let's go ahead and erase that, so that when we run our program, it won't have anything in the text box when we start it. It will just be blank. Okay, now that that's in there, go back over here to the left, and right under text box there's a button called command button. Go ahead and click that and put that on our project. And it also has a name, and it's command 1. Like I said, let's just leave it as that for now. And it also has a caption, which is command 1, but let's go ahead and change that. Let's change the caption to hello. So now our button says hello. So actually now we're ready to start coding, and anytime you want to code something, you just double click on it. So go ahead and double click on the hello box, and your code comes up. And let's type something in here, and then I'll explain it. Let's type text1.text equals parentheses hello world in parentheses. Basically what this is saying is private sub and M sub automatically comes up no matter what you're coding. But basically what this means here is when command 1 right here is clicked, which command 1 is our button. So when our button is clicked, text 1, which is our text box, its text is going to say hello world. So we click on our button, and in the text box, in text, should appear hello world. So let's see if that's what it does. Let's run our program and click your hello button. And sure enough, hello world comes up in text. It's as simple as that. Let's go ahead and end the program. And let's go bring back up our form. And let's delete that text box. Let's put in it's a big A over there on the left. It's a label. Let's go ahead and put that in there. It also has a name, just like anything else, but just leave it as label 1. But go in there and change its caption and just erase it. So now we have a blank label. Let's bring back up our code. Double click on the hello button. Brings back up our code, and since we don't have a text box anymore, let's erase text1.text. And let's put in label1.caption. Now, what that means is it's essentially the same thing as text1.text, except a text box has text and a label has a caption. But it's the same thing. When our command 1, which is our button, so when our button is clicked, label 1's caption is going to be hello world. So let's run our program. Click the hello button, and hello world appears just like that. So that's my simple little hello world tutorial. I showed you how to put in a button. I showed you how to put in a label in a text box and program each of those to say something. 2 things I want you to walk away from this project knowing is 1, know the difference between name and caption. Don't get those confused. 2, always know that when you're coding, you have the object dot the action. So always remember that. Just remember the object you're referring to dot a caption. So yeah, that's really all I have for you guys. If on the box to your right, I have a link to my website if you want to check it out. Soon I'm going to be uploading some stuff about Visual Basic, but I'll see you next tutorial.